Alright, this is PlayStation Vita. We're going to do a little presentation. I've already done my impressions, but make sure keep you guys a chance to see it. The box, everyone's done unboxing, so you know what's in the Vita, hookups, things like that. I'm going to show you 3 games, which I've had time to look at. Obviously, I've got a lot more to go, but really this is about the Vita. And, you hold down the power button to turn it on. And I had removed a card. You just pull this back. It's all touchscreen from the menus. It was Uncharted that was playing. You just move things around very easily. And there's a welcome park that you would select if you're new to this. It's sort of... I've already gone through some of it. You know, if you're not used to touching, if you're not used to tilting, if you're not, you want, maybe the camera, this sort of lets you, gives you some tutorials and some quick tapping things for the touchscreen. See, that's the one I'm on. That's where I left it off on. Obviously, I don't think gamers are going to need too much of a tutorial. I think that's more for new people. Hitting the PS button always goes back. It's very, very simple to do. The first thing we're going to show you, we got 3 games, and obviously this is all about the games. There's maps and videos and remote play, and of course there's all these features that you've read up on. But what we really want to do is showcase the games, because that's what this is about. So the first one up is going to be Wipeout 2048, which is already, as you can see, installed. They come in these boxes, which are actually they seem small, but they're oversized compared to the actual size of the game itself, which is just not much bigger than a SIM card, really. And they go on the top here. This little pulls out, and it simply just slides in and clicks. So once you have it in there, it clicks, and you can see that it says "Please wait" on the screen, and at that point you're ready to go. It'll install it each game, but it's very quick, and then you just go to start. I've already done the review for this, but I think you want to see it. This one showcases this system's capabilities better than anything, really. Maybe even better than Uncharted, just because of the frame rate is so smooth. And the first thing that'll jump out at you is just the screen. Everything on the Vita is designed to bring your eye to the screen. The analog sticks are small, all the buttons are small. These are all minimized, I think, for the sake of the screen. And it's such a pretty, it's a high definition that you can't help but watch it. And I mean, this is, I'm not going to play the whole intro, but just give you a quick look at it. And if you want, you can change the volume here up top easily enough. And I think this is just sort of it shows the progression of race cars through these into the future of racing, which in Wipeout, of course, is floating ships on the racetrack. But compared to, if you're going to compare it directly to the PSP, or if you're going to compare it to any other handheld device right now, I really don't think there's much of a comparison. This is about as good as you're going to get. If you're going to put it in the palm of your hand. But let's go to a game here so you can see what it looks like. And from here, usually it's all just push button. It's all just touchscreen. And this is your race grid. These are races. I'll just do a quick one. Now, as I mentioned in the review, the load times for this is really the only downside, or one of the main downsides of the game. They seem, for some bizarre reason, they seem to take much too long. I've played quite a few other games at this point. None take this long, so this is not exactly a great example of how fast games load normally on the Vita. This one just seems, abnormally long, and you'll see that in other reviews. I think it's because it's trying to load. I think the racetracks are so heavy detail and so much in the way of just flashy effects that I think that's why this thing really pushes. It does load quickly if you go to restart. If you want to restart a race, if you screwed it up, then that's a little different. It'll go, it should scroll up really fast and load quick. In this case, this is about how long you have. And when you're ready to go, these are the accelerators to the right. And just like in anything else, you remember Wipeout people probably remember Wipeout. I have a bad angle at this, but as has always been the case, I don't remember this track very well. It's always about getting past your opponents, using whatever weapons you can find, hitting the boost pads, and this, of course, is autopilot, which you would hit and it just automatically. The only thing that bugs me is that it doesn't really tell you when it comes out of autopilot, so you always have to be ready. Some of the really first races just give you a chance to race. You don't have to deal with any sort of weapons. They disable the offensive ones or something like that. And this you can read up on because the review is actually already up. You can certainly read it whenever you feel like it. It's one of the better games for the Vita to start with. And if you're into racing games, especially if you're into Wipeout, this is it's a must. Yeah. Okay, this is Hot Shots Golf World Invitational, which is a great golf game, especially for fans of the franchise, and that would be me. This just shows you. I've unlocked a few of the characters, a few clubs, a few balls, just to give you an idea. Now there's two separate ones. There's two separate swing mechanics. This is the old-fashioned one, it's just curved. It's still the 3-tap one. This one has a circle that ends up over the ball. I think it's a little disconcerting to see that little circle over the ball. Sometimes I can't see very well with that. So I just use the traditional mechanic. And I mean, this, even though it's, it's only golf and it's not really, it's not necessarily a big blockbuster thing like Uncharted, this is another one. The reason I wanted to show it is it shows off the Vita's capabilities quite well, because it really looks like Hot Shots on the PS3. It's not that much different. If you zoom in a lot and you really get close to the greens and you can get an idea. You can see that it's obviously a portable, but it's not. It's tough to tell. This is extremely well detailed, I think. And I actually, when I first used the touchscreen on it, sort of can ruffle the trees. But you can also use the touchscreen, and sometimes I think it's the rear touchpad as well to get information on your shots if you need extra ones. But just to give you an idea, this is this is just your standard. It looks great in all respects. And, I mean, it has every part of it that you could hope for. It's got the green, shows you how far off you are, the wind, the velocity, the height, that type of thing. I mean, it's one of the better examples of the. It's so much fun to play, and it's not difficult. I mean, except if you're not used to it, you'll have some difficulty. But it's one of the better games, and it's really colorful. It brings out the color of the screen more than anything, I think. So this is something to look at, even if you may not be into golf games. I still think you should look at it. My best score for this is actually 11 under. It should be better than that though. But this is something you should look at just because. Whoa, what's that? You have any idea what that is?
No clue.
I'm not even sure.
I don't know. Pretty cool sidebar there. Oh, it's a camera mode, so you can record your games.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, I hadn't even really thought about doing that. All right, we'll do Uncharted now. We'll do the last one. All right, and this is the one that I know everybody's been sort of waiting on. It's Uncharted Golden Abyss, which I played a lot of, but I don't want to throw any spoilers out there because I don't want people going, "Oh, you showed too much of the story." So I'm just doing the prologue, which gives you an idea of how the whole how it works, the touchscreen, and of course how it looks, which is amazing. It really looks like the first Uncharted for the PS3. Really, I don't think it looks much different.
That's a good comparison.
I really don't think it was any different. I mean, Uncharted 2 and 3 are more, steps. They take more steps in the visual direction, but this looks a lot like the first one.
Dante, I got a report that shots were fired by the river. It was nothing. I'm telling you, it was Drake. You tell your men to up their game, or there's going to be a lot less of them around come payday. Son of a bitch. I'll see you in hell.
So when you start, it's just like in anything else, just like before when you're playing Uncharted. Camera for the movement, for the left analog for the camera. I mean right analog for the camera. and left for movement. This here, now you can do X and just climb like you would with the left analog. Or you can use your finger and highlight and he'll go, which you may have seen in the E3 presentation. It goes down. So, and you can switch between them easily. I can do left analog to go down, and I can just drop, or I can just touch and it'll go down. And in this case, I'll use the analog cross. Now you can use left analog to lean like he's doing now, or you can tilt the Vita and he'll lean. And either way, you can touch and he'll go. So if I want to just have him move up, it actually works extremely well. I can just kind of bounce back and forth between the analog and the touch without any problem. I can either jump with X, or I can simply hit the ledge and he'll jump. And in this case, he can jump up, and I can still, this is actually almost feels slower because you have to hit the X for him to move up and jump. And sometimes it actually is with ledges faster to use the touchscreen. It's just it's so fluid and it works extremely well. And I'll give you an idea. When you get up to a point here, you can, when that shows up, just touch, and that's a sort of a stealth takedown. But that's also, these are weapons that you just touch to pick up, and of course it brings up this view, which you're going to be familiar with. You just got to get used to the little layer analogs. And other thing I wanted to show you was how the combat works. See circle, put you in cover. I'll bring someone to see. It's pretty simple. I just want to see if I can get him to come, because what will end up happening, you can use the environment to your benefit if you're next to a wall. I want to see if I can lure a few over here so we can get into combat, into hand-to-hand, because hand-to-hand it uses the touchscreen as well. See, in this case, and you just follow the prompts on the screen. And if you do it the right way, with that last movement, he'll get it right. If you mistake it, if you get it wrong, you'll have to. And this isn't. It feels a lot like Uncharted in so many ways. There's puzzles to solve. There's a lot of guys to deal with. And it looks quite good. It looks really, really good. Somebody sneaking up. Can you actually pick up a grenade? Have you ever tried it?
I haven't. I usually just run.